Yummy.
Hello, you're listening to The Game Grinder, the number one most scrumptious show in all of gaming. I'm Nick Barrio.
I'm Peter Wade.
Let's dig in. So, this week was an interesting week, certainly, for games on the brain. Unfortunately, I did not have a chance to play many games this week. I've been busy, but I still have games on the brain, on the mind.
Yeah.
Thinking about some games.
We got a big one on the brain.
So,
a big one.
While this podcast releases on YouTube and major podcast services on Saturdays, today is actually Thursday. We're recording early because we're going to have a big PAX East weekend. We're going to have videos on it, so stay tuned to the channel, which is GameCubed on YouTube. So today, Thursday, the 27th of February, 2020, is technically Pokemon Day. What is Pokemon Day, you ask?
It's a day for Pokemon.
Yes, it is the day that the original games released in Japan, and we have some news for this. I'm going to go through it really fast. So, for the first time in a while, a mythical Pokemon was revealed without being data mined beforehand. So, this new mythical Pokemon is named Zarude, and I very much like its name.
I like its name.
Yeah.
Design's kind of weak.
I like
opinion,
the design
but,
too. Zarude Sandstorm is coming to Pokemon Sword and Shield. So he looks like
Zarude Sandstorm, except it's dark grass.
So this is from, I believe this is information from the Pokemon Company. Zarude is a dark and grass-type Pokemon that can grow vines from the back of its neck, its wrists, and the soles of its feet at will. The vines are strong and flexible and are useful for many different situations. They can be used to wrap around tree branches, to move around and grab berries from distant branches, and they even have healing properties. It is the rogue monkey Pokemon. It is 5'11", so it's 1 inch taller than I am.
Wow.
This is a scary monkey boy. And
Not
it is
quite
a
tall
dark
enough to
and
get
grass
Tinder
type.
dates.
No. All right. Let's see. And it's like a monkey-looking scary dude. That's the best description I could give it.
Yeah.
All right, next up for Pokemon Day. For the past month, Google has held a Pokemon of the Year vote where each day you could come in and submit your top, I think it was just one Pokemon from each gen, but you could do it every day. And the list is out today, and we have some surprising results. Pikachu isn't even in the top 10.
Yeah.
Charizard is not number 1 or number 2.
It's number 4, but...
Yeah, it's number 4. So... we have number 10, Gengar, 9, Gardevoir, 8, Rayquaza, 7, Garchomp, 6, Sylveon, 5, Umbreon, and Nintendo Life, which is where I'm getting this news from, forgot to put an N, and it says Umbrio. So Nintendo Life, if you're listening to this, you have a typo that you should fix. 4, Charizard, 3, Mimikyu, 2, Lucario, and number 1, the most popular Pokemon as voted by the fans is... Greninja.
I was going to do like a drum roll thing.
We can still do it. Let's do it again.
Okay. Forget.
Greninja.
What?
Yeah,
Greninja?
Greninja's very popular
The
in Japan.
frog ninja Pokemon?
Yes, with the
Wow.
tongue as a scarf.
Yes.
Pretty intense.
That is Greninja.
Yeah. Greninja's very popular in Japan, so this isn't really a surprise to me. I was expecting Charizard and Pikachu to be like number 1 and number 2, but...
yeah. I'm kind of surprised Pikachu's not up there.
I think since this was more of a pull with like the hardcore fans, that's why Mimikyu's there.
I mean, clearly they're not that hardcore because Breloom isn't in top 10, so...
that's a Peter list, though.
I mean, okay. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Moving on. Famitsu, so the Japanese magazine and I believe website, Famitsu, a survey revealed that 88% of their readers intend to purchase the Pokemon Sword and Shield expansion pass. Of course, this is in Japan. The numbers might be different elsewhere, but this is interesting to me.
That is really interesting because, like, what percentage of people own the games then that read?
The games have sold, like, very well in Japan. Like, I believe the game held the record for longest amount of time at number 1 on the charts.
Damn.
It stayed up there pretty long, and if there's an off week, it'll still go back and take number 1.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have Mewtwo and the Kanto starters are now appearing in Pokemon Sword and Shield Max Raid battles. You can't catch Mewtwo, though, but he drops very good items, apparently. I haven't gotten to get in myself and try it, but if you want to get in there and battle Mewtwo and catch Kanto starters, that is happening. And I believe that is happening through the 2nd of March. So if you have an interest in doing that before the 2nd of March, get on Pokemon Sword and Shield and try it out. That also coincides with the launch of, it's Pokemon the movie Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which is the 3D remake of the original Pokemon movie, out today on Netflix, about a year later than Japan got it. I honestly thought this movie was never coming out.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch it.
I'm down.
It looks weird. Like, who got the idea to make an anime movie, like, completely 3D? It's like a shot-for-shot remake, I've heard, except they added Mega Evolution into it.
I wonder if they got Illumination Studios to help.
Oh, I don't believe they did. Illumination is jealous that they couldn't work on this movie.
Yeah.
Couldn't make 3D Brock. All right. Let's see, what else is there for Pokemon Day 2020? We have an event going in Pokemon Masters, and for whatever reason, the Pokemon Day event in Pokemon Masters isn't until the day after, which is odd. But if you log in tomorrow, February 28th, you can get Red and Mega Charizard X and free gems. Something funny, Peter?
No.
Okay. Let's see. I believe that's it for Pokemon Day 2020 news and celebrations happening officially from Pokemon and Nintendo. Let's move on to our first segment of the week. We usually have the weird and wacky tales from the deep dark depths of the games industry, but this week it's the wholesome tales from the deep dark depths of the games industry. And we have two of them. Two tales to share with you.
Two tales.
First up, we have, and this is courtesy of Kotaku, a 7-year-old wins a Pokemon championship and makes everyone a fan. So this happened in the Oceania, was it the finals? The Pokemon Oceania International Juniors Championships. Okay? And, this was her first year competing. Let's see, what's her name? Where is her name? Simone Lim. It's her first year competing. She ranked top 4 in the Malaysia regionals and at the Singapore special event. And how old is she? Let's see.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Is that what it said?
It says it in the title of the article.
Oh, yeah. Cool. She's 7 years old. She won a Pokemon tournament. If you look it up online, there's like videos of her when she won. She has this giant Eevee plush. It's a pretty cute video. It shows that anyone can win in Pokemon.
Yeah. Props to her.
Yeah.
She's killing it out there. So.
Yes. A current and future Pokemon champion.
Future gamer.
Our second wholesome story is a Nintendo customer support representative that went above and beyond for a 95-year-old grandma's busted Game Boy. This is a couple years ago. I believe it was 4 years ago because she recently passed away. And her daughter, 70-year-old Kuniko Tsusaka, apologies if I said that wrong, shared the story and in a recent print edition of a Japanese newspaper. So this grandmother always had her Game Boy with her to enjoy games of Tetris, and when she reached the age of 95, her health started to decline, and her Game Boy stopped working. She couldn't find any stores selling new Game Boys or anywhere that could fix the broken system. So let's see. Her son mentioned that Nintendo offered excellent customer support, and her son used the phrase Kami Tayu, which means God support or divine interaction.
Wow.
To describe their excellent service.
Right.
And she misunderstood, thinking he actually said the word kami, meaning paper. This resulted in him sending, oh my God, there's too many relatives in this story. So the daughter sent her mother's Game Boy to Nintendo and included a written letter. And within a week, she received a response from Nintendo's customer support team, who said they did not have the necessary parts to fix the machine, but instead they found her a brand new Game Boy in a warehouse, and they sent that back with a letter wishing the grandmother a long life.
Wow.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive. I don't think that would happen if you contacted Nintendo in the U.S.
Probably not.
There probably aren't any warehouses that have Game Boys unopened still and new in the U.S. or anywhere else. But it is a very heartwarming story. The grandmother in question lived until she reached 99. And her daughter said, up in the sky, she's thankful, I think. So awesome story.
Yeah.
My grandmother played Tetris on her Game Boy.
My grandmother did not.
Ouch.
But hey, I'm sure if she liked video games and was alive in the time when video games were popular, she probably, people like Tetris.
Yeah. All right, next segment.
Next thing. All right, I believe it's time for weekly news.
Is it?
Could be.
So what has happened in the last week of news?
What has happened in the last week of news? Well, our first story is that the Wonderful 101 remastered for Switch finally got a release date, and it's releasing in... it'll be released for Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Steam on May 19th in North America and May 22nd in Europe.
All right, and what's interesting is this is being released on different days in different countries, like in Japan, I believe. I don't know if it's in this article, but in Japan it's coming out in June, if I remember correctly. And then this game is also receiving a physical release, which is highly interesting because this was a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter promised a physical release, but it is being released in stores as well. This shows the success that Platinum Games is able to achieve because their Kickstarter is still going, and it exceeded their expectations. And this kind of leads into our next story, which is Platinum announcing their newest game. This is the second announcement from the Platinum 4, which is 4 announcements that they're kind of categorizing together.
Right.
The first of which was the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter. This new game is going by Project GG right now, and the first trailer came out. It is Hideki Kamiya's third game in his superhero kind of trilogy of, not really related in any way, but his superhero style games. The first of which was Beautiful Joe. The second was Wonderful 101. And this is the third one. And each one has had a different style of superhero. This one will have gameplay featuring an Ultraman-like protagonist who can turn very giant to fight giant beasts and monsters.
Kind of like a Power Rangers, kind of like Megazord kind of deal.
I suppose. The trailer is interesting. The graphics look nice, but it is entirely cinematic, so we'll have to wait and see.
Looks cool, though.
Yeah, an interesting tidbit on this game is it's the first ever Platinum published game and fully owned IP by Platinum. They usually they're very well known for developing action games, but they're usually published by other studios / brands / publishers. And this is a great step for the company. They've showed in recent interviews, I believe, they said they want to acquire the rights to their other IPs back to themselves, so they own it fully. Sega owns a lot of their IPs. Like Bayonetta, Vanquish. I think they own is it called Mad World, the Wii game? Do you know the Wii game?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, but this is a message from Hideki Kamiya. In the 14 years since we founded this company, we worked towards the dream of making and releasing a game based on a Platinum intellectual property. Now we're finally stepping up to that starting line. And what an exciting moment it is for Platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Platinum's a great company, so
Quality
I wish them
games.
well.
A few years ago, many people worried that they might go under. They went through an era of declining quality games. They were rushing out too many games at the same time, in my opinion. I think that's why they weren't as good as typical Platinum-developed games. A lot of licensed games, and they didn't do that well. So I'm glad to see them in a state where they're regarded as by many, one of the best developers in the industry.
Yeah, because honestly, all the Platinum games I've played are really sick. So
Yeah, they are. Let's see. Third piece of Platinum Games news for the week. So they are opening a new Tokyo studio. This studio, the goal of it is to kind of get away from action games. Platinum is very well known for action games, and they want to be well known for other genres as well. And let's see, they're live service games. So the goal of this studio is to make live service games. However, the first game they're releasing is Project GG, which is an action game. So I don't know, maybe they're developing multiple games at once, or maybe they'll start development when Project GG is released.
It does sound interesting the way they word it, though, because I'm thinking like it could be like an MMO kind of thing, in which case, like, probably not for me.
Yeah,
but...
I wouldn't really be interested in that. There's several things that, like, some Nintendo games, like Mario Tennis Aces, when that came out, they supported it with new, like, free characters and stages.
If it's stuff like
for,
that,
like,
then
over
I'm
a year.
totally down.
Yeah, I like that kind of content, but if it's a Destiny-like game, I don't think I'd be that interested in it.
I'm a barf.
Yeah, and
that's the case.
They're a very well-regarded studio in terms of, like, their single-player and, like, complete state of their games when they release. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a good live service type of game and not just, like, a very clearly greedy kind of release.
Yeah. But we'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. But I have a little faith.
Yeah.
You know. So, next piece of news. Harmonix, which is the development studio behind Rock Band, actually unveiled that they are making a new game called Fuser. And that's really cool because, Rock Band and, like, Guitar Hero and those kind of games have really been, like, dead.
Does this game use peripherals?
I don't think they say whether, but it's a very interesting. The concept for the game is like you're like a DJ and you can like mix different like music tracks. So you can put in like
that's cool.
The backing from one track or like the lyrics from another, and then like the instruments from another track.
Cool.
Pretty sure that's how it works, and that sounds really interesting and cool.
I'm a big fan of rhythm games, but I'm not a big fan of like peripherals. Yeah. So if this just uses a controller, I might be interested. Check it out when it launches.
I'm not totally sure, but it does seem interesting, and I think it's I think there's definitely a market for people who miss like Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Does it have a release window?
I don't.
I'm looking through the article and I don't see one.
I think it's still fairly early on.
Yeah.
Because they like just announced it. So.
It'll be playable at PAX East. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Might have to.
We're gonna be covering PAX East. We'll be there on Sunday, so look forward to that video.
It'll be a good one. All right, and on to our next piece of news. Square Enix says that they won't release next-gen exclusives for some time.
Interesting, but not at all surprising.
Yeah, I mean, next-gen still isn't out yet.
And AAA companies typically use this approach when new generations come out because you have a split consumer base. There's, like, right now the PS4, I think, has over 100 million consumers.
Yeah.
It's sold over 100 million units. And the PS5 comes out, even if it's a massive success. Like, I think an analyst had predicted it to sell 6 million units in, I don't remember how long, but a short time period. Even if in, let's say, 3 months, the PS5 is a massive success and it sells 6 million units, the PS4 still has 100 million. PS5, 6 million. PS4, 100 million. So these companies want to support the bigger audience, even if it's a worse game performance-wise, until there's justified reason to stop supporting that generation.
Yeah.
Until technology has gone too far to even support it.
Yeah. I think that this news is still interesting, though, because it means, at very least, we're not getting, like, a PS5 exclusive launch title from Square Enix.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that. I may be expecting like Final Fantasy VII Remake, like just like a port or a remaster.
I think that's almost definitely
yeah,
gonna happen.
because there's gonna be a sequel to it or 2 sequels. I think it's a trilogy, so they'd probably all come out during the duration of the PS5's life cycle.
Yeah. All right. Well, next piece of news.
Moving on.
So this is a really, really interesting one that I want to talk about because I think it's so cool that this is a thing.
Let's hear it.
But earlier, just a couple days ago, there was a prototype version of the original PlayStation 1 Spyro the Dragon, which was found and dumped online by let me get his username in here because
how did he get a hold of it? Do you know?
There's no details on like exactly how he acquired it, but this guy's kind of known in like the Spyro hacking community.
That could be a cool story on like how he got his hands on this.
Yeah, no, it would be really interesting, but there's no details. Probably because it's like legally a little weird, but shout out to HWD45, who was the person who dumped this ISO online. And I've been playing it, and it's really interesting because the original Spyro was the first game that I ever played.
Yeah.
And I'm super interested in like I love like beta content and like history of games developments. I think is super interesting. Yeah. So I've been playing it, and it's really cool because there's a lot of really interesting changes. There's like entire mechanics that are in the beta that like aren't in the finished game that they just like removed.
Yeah. And playing through it, are these mechanics like bad? Like, do they stick out as not being fun, or like are there just entire mechanics that make no sense to have removed?
They're kind of butt, honestly. Okay. Like the third boss has a mechanic in the beta where like he puts hats on his minions and you have to like jump up and like hit the hats off of them before you can
that sounds
kill
like it
them.
Could be a little annoying.
It's kind of janky, and it's like not that fun, so I understand why they ditched it. But it's really interesting to like be able to play that. Yeah. So also big news for general game preservation, so
cool.
It's awesome.
So next up, we have an ESRB rating appeared online for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. I am not... Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, the alarm on my phone is going off. Do you know what this means? This means that I have to go online to experience.nintendo.com and sign up for the Animal Crossing experience at PAX East.
All right.
So, Peter, do you want to take over the story?
Yes, I would love to take it over.
On it.
Because
I got to get to that Animal Crossing experience. I can meet Tom Nook, KK Slider, Isabelle. If you haven't seen it online already, folks, Nintendo has an outstanding setup at PAX East 2020 where they have an entire stage themed after Animal Crossing. Tom Nook goes fishing. There's all these cool things. There's like a campfire with a simulated fire. It's awesome. But the line is probably 5 hours unless you get the Warp Pipe pass from experience.nintendo.com. Hopefully I can grab one.
Yeah. All right. Well, while he's doing that, I'm just going to talk about...
Still got 3 minutes, though. I just wanted to get up early.
Oh. Well, let me talk about Xenoblade because I love Xenoblade.
Okay.
So
go ahead, Peter.
The original Xenoblade Chronicles has been like one of my favorite games ever since it came out. When they announced Xenoblade Definitive Edition, I nearly cried and crapped my pants.
Ooh.
It was a beautiful moment. And my biggest gripe with the game has always been that like the graphics are kind of butt, but Definitive Edition looks amazing. There's a rating for it now, which means that it's looking pretty close to release.
Yeah, I think there was a rumor that
there's a rumor for a May launch. Yeah,
May, because that's the whatever the date was. It was like the exact 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, I think people are saying like the 29th of May.
Okay.
But it's not confirmed. It's just a rumor.
And
but,
then the reason this interests me as someone who's never played it, first of all, I'm excited to get in and play it. I didn't exactly want to jump in and start with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so I'd like to play through the first one, then 2, then Torna. But there may be a Nintendo Direct coming up.
That's also
next week after PAX East. There's definitely not going to be one now as of Thursday the 27th. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if they announced one on Tuesday for next Thursday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'd love to. Always love more Nintendo Directs.
Yeah. This game is rated and it still hasn't been shown off too much.
Yeah. I mean, you know, Nintendo, they announce stuff at like the last minute they possibly can. So.
Mm-hmm. Good old Nintendo.
That's what they're about. But hey, I'll be sure to dump all of my time into this game once it comes out. I love Xenoblade. It's an amazing game. If you've never played it, it's probably one of the best JRPGs ever.
Wow.
I don't even think that's like a hot take.
I've gotten in to the RSVP. Ooh. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock p.m. No available. 2 o'clock p.m. No available. 4. Oh my God! It's already sold out, and it just went up. I can't get in. Oh no.
That's rough. Man,
refresh. That was like a 3-second period. It's sold out. Thank you, Nintendo. Maybe I'll wait in the line.
There's a little salt coming out.
3 seconds? Come on. Thank you, Nintendo, and the other people online.
But hey.
Wow.
But hey, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive. It's going to be kind of sick.
Is that also more important than the Warp Pipe Pass being sold out in 2 seconds?
Yes.
The game releasing? I wanted to meet Tom Nook, Peter.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I'm
wanted
sorry.
to give him my bells. Pay off the mortgage.
I want to ask him what's under that little skirt he has on.
We all know the truth. Look it up, folks.
Also, I just want to point out, because I don't know if people know about this, but it's like loosely confirmed in the first trailer for Xenoblade Remastered that they're adding in content that was like removed from the original game.
Yeah, that is cool.
There's this whole like big area that's like in the original game's data that got removed. That's like the biggest area in the game. Mm-hmm. And they're adding it back in. So that'll be super interesting.
Wonder if it'll make it better or worse. What if the cut areas were bad?
I mean, from what I've seen, the
game's already really long.
It is really long, and honestly, I'll play through the whole thing anyway. So,
All right, next up, we have a slightly misleading article from Push Square saying, replace your Buster Sword with a Butterfinger for free. Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC. So in my mind, I was picturing Cloud with the hilt of a sword with a Butterfinger coming out, and I would have loved that. But it seems like Push Square kind of made that detail up in the title, because, let's see. Basically, it's a promotion from Butterfinger, and it works with Butterfinger's Baby Ruth bars and Crunch bars, where buying them in real life, you will text or email your receipt to the manufacturer, and you can get different rewards based on how many Butterfingers you buy. So, you get, and there's a limited amount of each one. So, like, you can get a Tifa theme, dynamic Tifa theme for your PS4 if you buy 2 Butterfingers. Other than that, there are Midgar bangles, Shinra bangles, Corneo's armlet, Superstar belt, and a Mako crystal. Each of which, going down that list, getting harder and harder to obtain, with the Mako crystal only having 25,000 available.
Wow.
And I think you need to buy 10 bars to get the Mako crystal.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really, with this news, I really hope that there's like, I don't know, I really want like Cloud to like be really edgy, but also like just say that he loves Butterfingers. I want that now. Now that they're doing a crossover, like, come on, make it happen.
All right, let's see. Skipping ahead in the news a bit.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the creator of the Konami Code see, what's his name? Kazuhisa Hashimoto has passed away. So this news was announced by composer and former Konami collaborator Yuji Takanouchi. And if I pull up his page, we're going to go through his list of works and talk about like his importance. So, the Konami Code, I believe, was originally created because he was porting a Gradius game to the NES from arcade, and he wanted to be able to play it through without dying because it was very difficult for him. So he put the Konami Code in it, and it somehow made it to release when it wasn't supposed to, and it became very famous from there.
Yeah. So it was like a debug code, essentially.
Yep.
That got left in, and now it's a thing.
Mm-hmm. So let me pull up his wiki. That is not his wiki. Hang on. Pulled up a VG charts for some reason instead of searching his name.
Interesting.
All right, career. All right, so Hashimoto joined Konami along with several other recent college graduates in 1981. When he first started, their focus was on arcade machines, and as time went on, they started shifting towards console development, which explains why he was porting games from arcade to console. Let's see. So he first started developing circuit boards for coin-op games and products. Let's see. He developed games like Scramble and... Oh, these are games... Let's see. Sorry, folks. Let's see. This is a mishmash of just different things about him and not a list of the games he made. See, he worked on the conversion of track and field. It took him 6 months. Gradius, the Goonies for the NES, The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, and he worked on the Superstar Soccer series, and he worked at Konami through the rest of his life and has credits on at least 9 games. So, thank you, Hashimoto, for everything you've done.
Yeah. Rest in peace, dude.
Yes.
And honestly, because I feel like the Konami Code is kind of where a lot of, like, I feel like that's where, like, the idea of, like, entering cheat codes into your games kind of, like, got kickstarted. Like, you know, just the idea of, like, pressing buttons in a menu to, you know, change something or unlock something. So
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, actually, what is your first cheat code experience where, like, you entered something?
I want to say Lego Star Wars on the PS2. I would have my parents help me with this. I had printed out like giant, like 30-page pamphlets of all the cheat codes. Yeah. And
Actually, I wrote mine down with like pencil.
Trying to get like the Santa hats, I think was one of them, or like Jabba the Hutt and stuff, just random stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How about you?
My first experience was actually going back to Spyro a bit. In Spyro 2 and 3, there are all these like weird cheat codes that you can use that can like change Spyro's color, or you can make him like flat or like big head mode. And
Classic.
I loved playing with those when I was a kid.
All right. Can I ask you one more thing, Peter?
Absolutely.
What's poppin'?
What is poppin' with me today? What's poppin' with Peter, if you will? Ooh. So, I've been thinking about you know, with the Spyro beta and all that, game preservation is really important.
Yes, it is.
And I wanted to shout out the Game Preservation Society. That's who it is. Because they do a lot of work to
I don't think
preserve
I've seen things from them.
They preserve a lot of games that would otherwise be lost, and like, you know,
these
like
available online, like not, of course, not the games, but like, do they have pictures and stuff?
I think
What do they
I
do?
think they do
Specifically.
It's I forget exactly how like the preservation works, but the big thing is that the games will not be lost. They will always exist in some form, which is really cool because video games are art, and losing art is bad
Yes.
and dumb, because that's happened with like a lot of early film stuff, and hopefully it won't happen with video games too.
There's already games that have been lost forever, and we don't want to see that happen again. So please support games preservation.
Yes, absolutely. Games preservation is super important,
Yes.
and I'm big into it.
All right.
All right.
Ready to move on?
I am ready.
All right. Weekly game releases. We've trimmed this segment down from last week. It went on a bit too long.
Yeah.
So this time I've pulled out only what I've deemed important PS4 and Switch games. Sorry if there's a really cool game that I didn't realize.
It happens.
Yeah. So first up for PS4 and Switch, we have the Mega Man Zero/ZX Legacy Collection. It brings together 6 classic titles in one game: Mega Man 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as Mega Man ZX and ZX Advent. The collection also features Z Chaser, an exclusive new mode created just for this set of games. I want to get this game at some point. Not yet. Maybe I'll wait for a sale. I have all the other Mega Man Legacy collections, and I enjoyed them. The Zero games, I've played Mega Man 01, really fun game, so
Nice.
I'm down to check this out.
Yeah. I'm not super well versed with Mega Man, but hey, more classic games coming to Switch. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Let's
And
see.
PS4.
Also for PS4 and Switch, 2 Point Hospital from Sega. I've been following this one since it was on PC. It's been on PC for a while, I believe. It got really good reviews. So here's the description. The hit hospital building management sim comes to console for the first time. Design stunning hospitals, decorate them as you like, cure very unusual illnesses, and manage troublesome staff as you spread your building healthcare organization across 2 Point County. So this game's like really silly. It's got really goofy like predicaments that happen. I don't know the original game, but there was some hospital sim game in the 90s that was very popular, and the entire, or at least a good portion of the development team got back together to make this. And then after it came out and was successful, the team was acquired by Sega a couple months ago.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't think to make a game based around healthcare, but sounds interesting.
Definitely. Moving on to PS4. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. I certainly don't know him. I haven't seen One Punch Man.
I've seen a couple episodes. Pretty cool.
Yeah. I hear the second season isn't as good, though.
Yeah, I think the original like animators stopped
it's a
doing
different
it,
studio.
and people really like the original animators, which I believe is the story there.
Yeah. I've heard similar rumblings. The first One Punch Man game finally makes its debut. Dive into a dynamic fighting game experience with beloved characters from the first season of One Punch Man. Play as your favorite hero, or become one. Create your own hero avatar and choose your own set of powers and abilities.
Sounds cool. Sounds like something that fans of the show will enjoy.
Yes, next up we have something that I would buy if it released physical. Unfortunately, it's $40 for a digital PS4 game. I don't see myself getting it. Also, I saw some reviews saying that it only had like 40 minutes of content, so that's a little concerning. But it is Space Channel 5 VR. Kinda funky newsflash. Dance is your power to protect the Earth against invading aliens. Sega's legendary Dreamcast rhythm game, Space Channel 5, is coming to virtual reality as Space Channel 5 VR. Kinda funky newsflash. Hard to say. Your task is to master a series of life-saving dancing poses while tuning into the cool beat. Experience the return of Ulala for yourselves.
I've never played Space Channel 5.
Me neither, but I've always wanted to. It looks funky.
It does look funky, and I like funky.
Funky Kong. It's pretty solid Kong.
He's a good Kong.
Yeah.
I'm more of a swanky Kong guy myself.
I like Lanky Kong. Kitty Kong is a funny one. You know the Kitty Kong Twitter? Like, have you seen the Kitty Kong Twitter?
I have.
Okay.
It's really good.
Check out the Kitty Kong Twitter. Okay, on Switch, we have Samurai Showdown. This came out about a year ago on PS4 and maybe Xbox One. Really solid fighting game. I've been meaning to play it, and I might pick it up now that's on the Switch. It's all sword-based fighters. So, Samurai Showdown. Samurai Reboot. A brand new Samurai Showdown game takes aim for the world stage. Samurai Showdown has enjoyed worldwide success and a blade-wielding fighting game series since its first release in 1993. 11 years have passed since the last series installment, and it is now time for Samurai Showdown to return in a brand new game, featuring high-end visuals and gameplay, faithfully reproducing the game mechanics and atmosphere that contributed to the success of the series. Samurai Showdown includes a revolutionary feature that learns players' game actions and patterns in order to create CPU-controlled ghost characters. That's cool. With its story set 1 year before the very first installment, warriors and combatants from various backgrounds and with their own goals are about to battle to fulfill their destinies. And if you pre-purchase the digital version or by, March 25th, which wouldn't be a pre-purchase anymore if it's out. So if you purchase the game by March 25th, you'll receive Samurai Showdown 2, which I believe is the original classic game from the 90s. Or the sequel to the original.
Cool.
Yes. I played that at PAX East last year. The demo was fun. So
have to check it out.
Mm-hmm. And Rune Factory 4 Special. Journey to the vibrant world of Rune Factory and experience the legendary fantasy farming adventure like never before. Welcome to Selphia, a region ruled by the native dragon Ventuswill, and you. Start an exciting new life in the village and embark on a grand adventure. I've heard a lot of good things about the Rune Factory series. There are several reasons I will not be buying this game. One is that Animal Crossing comes out dangerously soon. I can't get into another life sim right before that.
That's rough.
Two is that it still just looks like a 3DS game, and they announced they're making a Rune Factory 5 for the Switch, and I'd rather just wait for that.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try Rune Factory because I think life sim games are cool.
And it's got combat.
Yeah, it has like
exploration.
RPG stuff.
Yeah.
I love RPGs.
Yeah.
With Animal Crossing coming out really close,
Mm-hmm.
probably won't.
Yeah, can't let down Tom Nook. I already did once today. Not going to meet him now.
It's unfortunate.
All right. Peter, is your body ready for WackWare?
Let me check. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, cool. WackWare is starting.
WackWare.
WackWare, ladies and gentlemen, is the segment in which I go through the last week of PlayStation and Nintendo releases, picking out interesting, weird, and just plain old shovelware games to read to Peter in different rounds. I've thrown in games I've made up myself, and Peter has to distinguish between them and guess which one is which. I believe it was 2-1 last week, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Trust me, folks, it is harder than he makes it
these
sound.
games have horrible grammar and weird sentence structures, and their summaries really fun to read through.
And Nick is good at making fakes.
Yes. Game developers, if you want to... Shovelware game developers, if you want someone to hire, I'm available. First game. Are you ready?
Also, just because a game's in WackWare does not necessarily mean it's shovelware, but most of them probably are.
Yeah, we're not sure.
But it's
some
all
of them are
assumptions,
just
so.
really weird indie games.
Yeah. It's just weird indie games, so maybe one of these games is secretly super sick. I don't know.
All right, first game.
All right.
Diadra Empty. The epic of a girl and a small dragon spun into the fantasy sky. A new look of 2D shooting, high-field shooting, is here. Run around the sky and confront powerful enemies with a variety of weapons and a high degree of freedom. Flowing clouds, sparkling light, shining wings illuminating the sky, and translucent graphics that color the story. Small wings and a girl's wish run through the sky.
Okay. That sounds pretty real.
Next game. Hay Fever. Help Thomas the allergic mailman gather all his lost letters in this challenging and unique 2D platformer. In Hay Fever, the player takes control of Thomas, a young postman with a strong work ethic. There's just one tiny little issue. Thomas suffers from terrible, and we mean terrible, allergies.
Okay. I'm leaning towards this game's not real.
Oh, this one's definitely real.
I kind of want it to be real because I like the main character a lot, honestly.
Okay. All right, third game. Ready?
All right.
Final game of the first round. Magical Girl Rumble. Choose one of 7 magical girls to fight all the others. Magical Girl Rumble provides a fast-paced experience
to fight all the others.
And battle fun.
Ooh.
So we have Diadra Empty, Hay Fever, and Magical Girl Rumble.
Unfortunately, I gotta disrespect my boy Thomas. I gotta say Hay Fever is fake.
Yeah?
Yes, that is my final answer.
Okay, it is not fake. It's
Oh, it's
real.
Magic Girl
Magical
Rumble.
Girl Rumble is real.
God.
This week, I threw into that one some grammar mistakes, so it's less obvious that it's me.
I was... Okay, wait, so that... Hay Fever is a
Real game. Thomas is a real person. You should check it out. It's on the Switch, I think.
How much is the
and
game?
PS4. I don't know. Maybe like $10.
I kind of want
Maybe
to buy
more.
it.
I'm guessing. All right. First round goes to me. Second round. Tempest. Tempest is a pirate open-world action RPG is offering an ultimate ability to free roam 3 vast worlds filled with dozens of colonies and forts, hundreds of quests, and countless ships to plunder. Trade, fight, explore on your own, or call friends to do the same together. Set your foot on the land to plunder it.
Okay.
Yeah?
That sounds like a... That could exist.
Yeah. Okay. Seal Fledge, a daughter-raising simulator. In the year 3716, humanity lives under constant risk of ruin from a colossal alien threat known as Gigant. Fleeing its destruction, a mysterious young girl arrives on Arc 3, a magnificent city built in the sky. Seal Fledge is a game about raising an adopted daughter in a future world that still has hope. Featuring compelling management gameplay and a lovable cast of characters, it's up to you to take care of Seal until she reaches adulthood and becomes ready to fledge in the nest.
Okay.
Night of the Ninja. Take revenge on your enemies as the mystical ninja Orakana Name, but don't let anyone spot you. Move in the shadows and use your slow-mo powers to win fights against big opponents. Night of the Ninja will make a ninja out of you.
Okay.
So we have Night of the Ninja, Seal Fledge, and Tempest.
All those sound pretty real.
Mm-hmm.
Shot in the Dark, I'm going to say Tempest is fake.
Tempest, the pirate open world action RPG,
Yes.
is real. Night of the Ninja is fake.
I knew it.
Let's see. I used Google Translate to make the name.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that definitely isn't like a real...
I think Orakana Name means like stupid name or something. Let me see.
I was thinking that. I'm like, that doesn't sound like that's real, but like...
Yeah.
But I don't know. The way you described Tempest sounds like something that you could have made up. So like,
Yeah, it means like stupid name in Japanese.
I hate you.
I might get all 3 rounds this week.
I don't want you to.
Are you ready for the third and final round of WackWare?
I gotta get this one.
Good luck.
Right.
Mathland. An evil pirate, Max, has stolen the sacred gems and has cursed the islands, filling them with obstacles and
You're
traps.
starting me with Mathland.
Help Ray, our pirate, find the gems and restore the natural order of things. Navigate your ship through the seas to get them, but remember, you will need a spyglass to discover new islands. Solve fun math games to get them. Addition, subtraction, numbering, multiplication tables, and division. The islanders need you. All right, are you ready for the second one? I think it's worse than Mathland.
I don't think you can do that.
Battle sloths. Sloths, pizza, chaos. Battle with your friends using an arsenal of pain. Pain's capitalized. To collect the most pizza. No party is complete without steaming boxes of fresh pizza. But beware, your friends are hungry too, and this pizza isn't going to last all night. Grab a hoverboard and get moving. Defend your pizza from other players and fight for slices from across the map in this fast-paced, competitive twin-stick shooter. Choose from an arsenal of over 15 weapons, ranging from swords to nukes to exact death and revenge upon those who would claim any slice unspoken for. Learn to take advantage of unique map conditions to get a competitive edge over your opponents. You've never seen sloths move this fast. Then again, you've never had a pizza party with a hungry sloth before.
That one's too weird to be fake.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that one's real.
Okay. Third game.
All right.
Electronome. One day, a gnome is walking through Gnome City when a terrible storm occurs. A strong
Gnome
lightning
City?
zap. Gnome City.
Continue.
A strong lightning zap hits the gnome and turns it into Electronome. Use your new zap powers to solve puzzles and defeat enemies. Do you have the takes to be Electronome? Many scenarios, such as cowboys, reptiles, and the dreaded Dreamland. Electronome takes the best elements of games you love and is a new game, that you will love.
Electronome is fake.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes.
I went too much with Electronome.
Yeah, Electronome was a bit much.
Especially with the sentence structures and the things in it. But,
also, you called the city Gnome City.
Yeah.
That's the most
I mean, if
Nick
this was a
thing.
shovelware game, I would expect it to be real. This sounds like something I would read on a different week.
Okay, it does, but to me personally, it gives me more Nick energy than like weird indie game energy. So
Okay, I suppose.
hey, at least I got one.
Good job, Peter.
Thank you.
All right, drum roll, please.
All right.
It is time for the big chunk.
The big chunk?
The big chunk.
Big chunk.
This week's topic is the lame duck period of the PS4 and the predictions for the PS5. Can I get that again? Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening on podcast services, we don't have this sound effect pre-recorded. Believe it or not, this is Peter himself doing it. Wow.
Thank
All right,
you, Duck
so-
Game, for teaching me how to do that.
You're welcome. I am Duck Game.
Just read the news.
Okay, this isn't news.
Well, it's the.
This is the big chunk.
Read the
Show
chunk.
some respect.
Chunk me up.
Okay.
Don't take that out of context.
Get chunked on. So, right now, I feel as if we're in like a lame duck period of the PS4, which is like most PlayStation fans are just harassing everyone online for information on the PS5. The PS4 was revealed in February, and it seems like we're not getting that this time, which leaves the question, like, when do we think it'll be revealed? I want to do different predictions on just features we want the PS5 to have, and let's see, what else? When the reveal will be, because the reveal is typically done by now. This is coming out holiday season.
Yeah.
And what form will the reveal take? Because now they have their state of plays. Do you think it'll be an actual event, or do you think it might be a state of play?
It's hard to say
Yeah.
because PlayStation has been weirdly absent from like E3s and stuff.
Yeah, it might be
in
a
recent
very
history.
long state of play, but
Yeah.
I can't really imagine it. They've just never done it before. Even with the Switch reveal, Nintendo had an on-stage event.
Yeah, true. I feel like usually they reveal stuff on stage, but PlayStation's been weird about doing things live lately, so
Less room
We'll
to have
see.
mistakes if you do a state of play.
that's true.
Um,
Why Nintendo does directs instead of
Yeah.
Wii Music reveal.
Wii Music reveal was great. It was at E3 2008. The drummer guy.
I do
Yeah.
love the drummer guy. Drummer guy, if you're out there,
Subscribe.
subscribe, and also I want to be friends with you because I love your energy, man.
And then we have the classic Sony arrogance. Do you think they're going to be very full of themselves from the success of the PlayStation 4? Or do you think maybe they'll be well adjusted to take on the next generation and do so successfully?
I'm gonna play pessimist here.
Yeah.
I think Sony is kind of convinced that like they're harboring this like deep mythological secret that is the God's gift to mankind, the PlayStation 5, and it's like, I'm gonna be honest, like I don't really care about the PS5 that much. Like
I'd like to see the reveal. I'd like to see like
that's
everything
true.
about
I
it.
would.
But I don't think I'm going to buy a PS5 until at least a year after
Yeah.
it comes out.
Not
Maybe
getting it at
wait
launch.
till like the first limited edition console comes out, because with that, you're guaranteed to have a game that's big enough to warrant hype, because a limited edition is coming out.
Yeah.
So like the games are gonna have a steady flow of releases from that point on, and then you have a cool looking PS5 too.
Pro tip: generally don't buy consoles at launch.
Yeah.
That's just.
I buy Nintendo consoles at launch, but I don't really see the reason in buying a PlayStation at launch.
Yeah. I mean, I love both, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't buy either at launch. I didn't get a Switch until like almost
I got my
a
Switch
year after
at
it came out.
midnight at GameStop. Maybe GameStop won't exist anymore for the PS5 reveal.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah. So
I won't be sad, but
for features I'm looking forward to, right? I'd love to see, and this has been heavily rumored, backwards compatibility between each PlayStation generation. I have every PlayStation, but now I wouldn't have to set them all up at the same time. That's kind of a pain.
wouldn't have to bring them all to college.
They'd all be upscaled to... Apparently, the PS5 is going to run at 8K resolutions.
That's so extra.
Yeah.
But hey, if you can do it.
Yeah. What price do you think it's going to launch at? I'm going for $500.
Yeah. My estimation is too expensive for me to purchase, which $500 definitely hits the mark on that.
Mm-hmm. PS4 did well at $400, and Xbox One failed at first at $500. I think they're going to go $500, which I think would be even worse than the market that the PS4 and Xbox
Honestly, I thought PS4 was even like a little bit pricey.
Pricey, yeah. I think the Switch is $300.
300 is good.
Price point to launch
especially
at.
For how much stuff the Switch has. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the lame duck period for the PS4 that I was referring to, we have games like Dreams, Last of Us Part 2, and Ghost of Tsushima coming out. But with all of them, especially with Dreams, it seems to me like they could have done better if they either held them for the PS5 or there's just not as much excitement as if it came out 2 years ago. Especially with big AAA games from Naughty Dog, like Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, which isn't Naughty Dog, it's Sucker Punch, but still big game. I think if they did like a Breath of the Wild approach and came out with them on PS4 and PS5, they would sell a lot better and get a lot more buzz for the PS5 launch to really get them in the lead in front of Xbox.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely, I agree.
So I think Xbox, what's it called now? Series X is gonna launch with the next Halo game.
Such a bad name.
Yeah, I don't like the name. Well, the name is technically Xbox. They elaborated that Series X is just like the model. So instead of coming out with like the upgraded console, instead of calling it the Pro, it'll just be like the Series Y probably, and then Series Z. Yeah.
Like, I thought the new Nintendo 3DS was like a really bad name.
I thought the Wii U was a bad name.
Series X has taken the helm on this one.
Maybe Xbox will finally leave the console market. Yeah. So I like Xbox as a brand. I don't like their consoles that much, and I don't think they have enough first-party support. But if they put like Halo on other consoles, I think they any of their games really, because they have Rare.
It's on PC now.
Like if they put Banjo games and like Halo had Rare games on everything, I think they'd make a lot more money than if they were just gated to Xbox.
Yeah, I will probably never buy an Xbox. I never have.
I have a 360. One. I like the 360.
The 360 was good.
Yeah.
I mean, once it came out with the model that worked.
Yeah. Model S, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called.
I don't know.
Not Model X.
No.
Series X.
Series Z.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But yeah, Xbox games generally don't interest me. They just don't. They don't have exclusives that I care about.
Yeah.
I don't care about Gears of War.
I like Halo though. Halo's fun.
I've never really gotten into Halo. Yeah. It's just like
it's on PC now.
Yeah, so if I want to play it on PC, I can. So it's like, why would I get a stinky box? I'm sorry, that's not. I'm sure the console smells fine.
Yeah, PU stink box.
I'm gonna call all our friends. I'm gonna say that to all our friends that have Xboxes. I'm just gonna be like, you have stink box. That's smelly. Anyway.
That smelly smell. Can hear. I just said I can hear it. I can smell it from here.
Yo, that's so smelly. I can hear it.
All right. Is that all we have to say for the big chunk?
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
I'm cool with the sitting duck period, honestly.
I
I'm
still enjoy the games. Dreams is fun.
Dreams is sick. I'm excited to see Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima.
I need to play The Last of Us 1. I might like it.
It's got a good story.
Is it scary? Will I like pee my pants if I play it?
Yeah, you will.
Okay, then maybe I won't.
Nah, man, pee your pants.
Okay, I'll make a video that's like me playing it and peeing my pants at the same time.
Okay, don't have a pants cam though.
Okay.
Just have it be like like this
my
kind
face.
of
Yeah. Okay. Will do. Look forward to that.
Yeah.
All right. Next and final segment of the show. Hear ye, this day in gaming. So as we already said, the original Pokemon games released in Japan today, but we're not doing that. We're too cool to talk about that. Ooh. You know what we're talking about? In 2002, on this day, Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure launched for the Game Boy Advance. I thought this game had a really funny name, and I had never heard of it. And then when I looked it up, it turns out it has a 78% on Metacritic, which surprised me. And it was
I've heard it's not bad.
It's the first handheld Crash Bandicoot game.
I believe this game is called Crash Bandicoot XS in
Europe.
In Europe or something. But I've never played it. I like Crash though. Mm-hmm. I like the OG Crash games.
Yeah, I've played and beaten all three of the remastered trilogy. I didn't play it until then.
Yeah.
Maybe the next Crash game will be Crash Bandicoot: The Huge Adventure.
Crash Bandicoot: The
remastered.
Huge Year Adventure.
Crash Bandicoot: Big Adventure.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Crash Bandicoot: The Massive Adventure.
All right, so the Game Grinder podcast is the number one place to get big Crash Bandicoots at.
Number one.
One big Crash Bandicoot, right? So stay tuned next week. We upload new videos of the podcast every Saturday to GameCubed on YouTube. There's a space in between. Game Space Cubed on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, do all that annoying stuff that we beg you to do. We're also available on Spotify and other major podcast services. Check us out on there. When we do eventually go live, I think we're still pending, but this episode eventually will be up on Apple Podcast Services. When it is, please give us a good review. It helps us to be found and grow. It's very hard for people on the podcast services to find us other than YouTube. I'm Nick Barrio. This is Peter Wade.
I'm Peter Wade. Let us know down in the comments what you are smelling currently right now.
If it's an Xbox or something else.
Yeah, just any smell that's entering your nose, let us know.
If you want updates on the channel and new videos being posted, you can follow at game_cubed on Twitter. And then we also have a website with write-ups of everything that goes to our channel. And that website is the very long title, very long URL of qbnews.wixsite.com/gamecubed. So check that out. Thanks for watching.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week on the Game Grinder
podcast.
Yeah.